effectively at different levels throughout the strike zone. And then she has that nasty off-speed pitch to offset that rise ball.
On the season, McGaffin 1-0. This would be just her 7th appearance of the year. 3 2/3 innings, has given up 5 hits, walked 1, 3 strikeouts as we are underway from Bogle Park. First pitch strike on the outside corner.
And that's exactly the type of start that you want to have, coming out firing, setting the tone with a first pitch strike.
McGaffin goes off speed, misses to even the count at 1-1. Different look for Southeast Missouri State today in the batting lineup. Affolter getting the start at the top of the lineup. Hallowell moving to the 2 spot and Kinsey Wrigley in the 3rd. Affolter taking a ball. Count now 2-1. Sophomore out of Odessa, Missouri, hitting .222 on the year, 6 hits in 27 at bats. 2-1, McGaffin misses again on the outside. For Southeast Missouri State, you want to talk about finding those little victories, those silver linings, battling early on in the lineup, getting leadoff runners on. Those are things that the Redhawks can really use, as they do indeed work a leadoff walk.
And that's the kind of at-bat that Coach Redburn wants to see, getting the leadoff runner on, being very selective at the plate. To attack Nikki McGaffin and this Arkansas staff today, they're going to have to be selective, take balls for balls, and then attack the strikes.
SEMO worked just 1 walk against Arkansas staff on Friday. That was Sasoff working a walk late in the innings. First pitch misses outside, so 4 straight balls for McGaffin.
She's losing it up in the zone right now with her rise ball. She needs to come back and attack, working that rise ball, starting it a little bit lower so that it has that late break that still stays through the strike zone.
Runner on the move, in easily ahead of the throw. Affolter, great jump with her first stolen base of the season.
And for Affolter, that was a great read on the pitch out of Nikki McGaffin's hand. It's a little bit of a high off-speed pitch. She gets such a great jump on it, just sprinting down to second, sliding in safely.
SEMO with a runner in scoring position. McGaffin again missing 3-0 as the sophomore still struggling to find the strike zone. There's already action down in the Arkansas pen. That is number 7, Morgan Linestock warming. Off-speed misses back-to-back walks for the Redhawks. Kennedy Miller headed out to the circle to talk it over with McGaffin, and here comes Courtney Deifel.
And coming off of that South Dakota State loss last night, it's going to be important, starting off the game early, setting the tone, that it starts in the circle defensively to get these clean outs.
Is this a conversation to give Linestock a little bit more time to warm in the pen?
Give Linestock more time, yes, but also, just the trust of, I believe in you. I know Coach Courtney Deifel, she's telling her, I believe in you. Settle in, find the strike zone, just fill up the strike zone with strikes.
Conversely, if you're Mark Redburn and SEMO, you're saying be patient. There have been, out of the first 9 pitches, 8 have been balls, so make sure that you're not expanding the strike zone. As Kinsey Wrigley stepping in, the senior third baseman, .293 on the season. First pitch, wild pitch back to the screen. Miller immediately back to get it, but both runners advance. Southeast Missouri State's threatening here in the top of the first.
And for Nikki McGaffin right now, those balls that she's losing at the upper part of the strike zone, it's just sticking in her hand a little bit too far past her release point.
Wrigley, 12 hits on the season, lifts it out to center field. Johnson coming in. Affolter will tag. Here's the throw. On line, not in time. It bounces back towards the circle. Southeast Missouri State scores on the sacrifice fly.
Wrigley stepping up big with Affolter and Hollowell getting on base by walk. She steps up, does her job with the sac fly to shallow center field. Reagan Johnson's throw is on line, but Affolter with the speed from third base slides in safely.
Just the 5th run of the tournament for Southeast Missouri State. They had been outscored 31-4 as Aubrey Shore takes a rise ball high for ball 1. They had been outscored 31-4 coming into today's game.
And with that being said, this is the kind of response that Coach Redburn wants to see. You know, talking about early on the little victories, these are victories right here that end up adding up and helping a team to turn the page.
McGaffin comes back, gets the called strike on shore. The junior hitting .294, a home run, 12 RBI. Has an opportunity to pick up one more. 1-1, lifted to left field. Kramer is under it, tagging. Here's the throw. Not in time. Southeast Missouri State using a pair of sacrifice flies to plate 2.
And SEMO doing their job with the sacked flies to drive in the runs. You know, that's where a free base pass, it'll affect you with an offense like this that's finding a way to get those runs across. Let's take a look at the swing by Shore. It's up and in on her hands. She just is able to lift it with the strength that she has in her swing to drive in Hollowell.
13th RBI of the season for Aubrey Shore. 2 away in the top of the first inning, but Southeast Missouri State on the board with 2 runs. And it brings to the plate Kat Sackett, senior DP. Sackett lines it out to right field, drops in front of Cammonson. 2 out hitting as the onslaught continues for Southeast Missouri State.
And for Kat Sackett, that is picture perfect on how you sit back on the off-speed pitch and drive it through for a base hit.
First hit of the afternoon for Southeast Missouri State. The first 2 batters reached via the walk. Wild pitch moved them into scoring position, and then SEMO manufacturing runs with a pair of sacrifice flies. First pitch high to the senior catcher, Marissa Peak. Peak hitting .190 on the season. 1 RBI for the senior out of Wentzville, Missouri. And Courtney Deifel out of the dugout. That will be the end of the day for Nikki McGaffin as Morgan Linestock will enter to try and get Arkansas out of the top of the first inning. McGaffin goes 16 pitches, surrenders 2 runs. We'll be back with the pitching change with Morgan. Morgan Linestock coming in relief for Nikki McGaffin in the circle. Southeast Missouri State got 2 runs on a pair of sacrifice flies before Nikki McGaffin giving way to Morgan Linestock, who picked up the win over Southeast Missouri State on Friday.
In which she was outstanding against SEMO on Friday, and have had already seen Linestock what they can expect again, and she's going to work down in the zone with that lethal drop ball and then really mix in the speeds to keep the hitters off balance.
Linestock, the senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. 4-0 on the season, 1.19 ERA. Catches the outside part of the plate for the strike. The count now even at 2-2.
Here we go, Mo.
2-2. Lifted, shallow, flared. No one's going to get it. It drops in no man's land. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Redhawks.
And Peak, another SEMO hitter, displaying how to stay back on the off-speed pitch and find a way to poke it through for a single. This is off-speed pitch down the heart of the plate. She keeps her hands back and just gets enough of it to drop it in front of Reagan Johnson in the outfield.
Southeast Missouri State making a statement here in the first inning. Linestock comes back and gets the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Southeast Missouri State 4-13 on the season. Sophie Shoup, freshman shortstop. Coach Redburn told us that a plethora of his freshmen were going to get an opportunity to play this weekend. 10 freshmen on the roster. You see Coach Redburn there shaking his head as Shoup looking at him, questioning whether or not that was a strike. Coach Redburn says, yes, it is. The 0-2 fouled back into the screen.
Here we go, Mo.
Shoup, 3 hits on the season, 3 RBIs, 4 walks. Off the hands, nearly into the SEMO dugout as she stays alive.
Here we go, Morgan.
Morgan.
Sackett on second, Peak on first after back-to-back singles. The 0-2, line just over the head. It's short into the left center field gap. One run is in as Shoup comes through with a 2-out RBI single. She advances to second on the throw. Southeast Missouri State has come out to play here on Sunday morning. They've scored 3 in the first.
And boy, have they. This is a big-time swing by Shoup, getting it past Pergia at shortstop. And a gritty at-bat that she just had, being down 0-2 and finding a way to drive in Sackett to plate another run.
Third RBI of the season. Strike on the outside corner. Redhawks still threatening. 2 runners in scoring position. Shoup is on second, Peak is on third. Tatum Gerwitz, the junior right fielder, standing in. Gerwitz right back up the middle. Peak scores. Shoup being waved around, no throw. A 5 spot for the Redhawks in the first.
And this is the momentum shift that you want to see. Coach Redburn as the head coach, this is what he's talking about, turning the page. And for Gerwitz, phenomenal job just slapping that ball back up the middle.
Already 4 hits for Southeast Missouri State here in the top of the first inning, 5 runs in. It started off with a pair of walks, a pair of sacrifice flies, and then 2 out hitting for the Redhawks. Another lefty in the box is Sydney Dennis, the junior second baseman, as SEMO has batted through the order here in the top of the first inning against Nikki McGaffin and then Morgan Linestock for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Dennis hitting 171. Ball in play, lifted out to center field. Johnson under it, makes the grab as Arkansas finally gets out of the inning, but not before Southeast Missouri State jumps on the Razorbacks for a 5 spot.
Well, she is who sets the tone. She is the table setter to this offense. More times than not, when Reagan Johnson gets on, this Arkansas offense finds a way to drive her in.
The way that Hannah Kamenzen's been hitting, you put on a hit and run?
I think you absolutely put runner in motion somehow, and with the consistency and the way that Kamenzen State has stayed through the strike zone with her swing, I do not think that that would be a bad call offensively whatsoever. And you get it in the gap with Reagan Johnson's speed. If she's in motion, she will most likely score from first.
Kamenzen takes on the outside corner, 1-1. With the way that the sophomore has been swinging the bat this week, she has really transformed herself into an all-around player. She's a home run shy of the cycle for the weekend. Had a double yesterday, a triple against FAU on Friday night. The 1-1 swinging there was Johnson on the run. Kamenzen to swing to protect, but now down in the count 1-2 rather.
And that's a good call there, being a 1-1 count. That's the perfect time to do the hit and run situation.
Johnson still perfect in her collegiate career in stolen bases. She's 8 of 8 this season. Was 17 of 17 a year ago. The 1-2. Further outside. Count 2-2 now. Kamenzen has seen playing time this weekend in right field, in left field. She got the start last night against FAU, got the win against South Dakota State on Thursday. 2-2. Pulled over to the right side. SEMO able to get the lead runner over to first. Not in time. Kamenzen able to beat the throw, but the Redhawks erase Johnson off the base paths.
And one thing for SEMO that Coach Redburn talked about is just making the routine plays throughout the progression of the game. And this is a great play by Sydney Dennis over at second base, staying on this ball, getting the turn, and for Shoup, coming across the bag at shortstop. With the speed of Reagan Johnson, sometimes it's hard. You get a little bit rushed tempo-wise. So good job getting the lead runner out.
First pitch strike to Rylan Hedgecock. Errors have been an Achilles heel for this SEMO team this year. They came into this game in the bottom third of the country in fielding percentage, .943 on the season. They committed an error in the 5-0 loss to the Razorbacks on Friday morning. Hedgecock quickly down in the count 0-2.
And, you know, one thing that Coach Redburn really pointed out was just the fundamental routine plays, really wanting to focus in and hone in on, you know, making those plays, and then the big plays, they'll come within time.
Hedgecock hitting .304 on the year, 17 hits. Takes the ball on the outside corner. Hedgecock was 0 for 3 on Friday, 1 left on base. The 1-2, tapped, back up into Hedgecock, into play, but it's a foul ball.
Hey, fire right here, Roo!
Arkansas as a team entered today hitting .308, 161 hits, 54 of those for extra bases. The 1-2, taken high, count even. Three home runs on the year for Hedgecock after she surpassed the 20 mark in her first season as a full-time player. Lifted into the air, it will stay on the infield. Shore is under it and collects it for out number 2.
And that is a huge out by Livesey. As to Rylan Hedgecock, she was consistently living on the outer part of the plate with her curveball, rise ball combination. And that's a huge out right there.
Hedgecock giving some advice to the freshman Kennedy Miller about what she saw in that at-bat from Livesey. And Miller, Arkansas's best hitter over the course of the weekend, standing in. First pitch off speed, swings through it. That's a smart pitch from Livesey.
That is a great pitch with that off-speed drop ball on the outer part of the plate. And right now the approach by Livesey, she's going to attack these hitters off the plate, get them to hit that ground ball to the right side of the field, as the middle end pitch is within Arkansas's wheelhouse.
Ball stays low. According to 643 charts, Arkansas's power numbers in that left center field gap, 38% of their power numbers are hit to that part of the field. The 1-1. Popped up just in front of the plate. It bounces in fair territory. The ball spins and stops on the chalk of the left-hander's batter's box. That is the shortest single that Kennedy Miller is ever going to hit in her career.
Absolutely. And with the spin on that for Marissa Peak, as we take another look at this, she gets her body turned with the ball spinning back in towards the infield. This is a lot easier play for Aubrey Shore or Wrigley at third base to crash in and to secure that catch. And really heads up base running by Cameron Zinn going first to third on that.
Typically as a corner, if you're Shore or Wrigley over at third, you need to call that ball off. It's always easier as an infielder coming in than it is for a catcher to try and go out. Ellis tapped over to third off the glove of Wrigley. Arkansas gets one back on the air as Cammonson comes across.
And that's finding a way to get the job done. And for Bree Ellis, this time it is not a home run, but it is a infield single to get Cammonson across. Take a look at the swing. Drop ball on the outer part of the plate that she gets her barrel around enough to get it to the 5-6 hole.
They will mark that as an error on Wrigley. And also credit Cammonson that high pop-up with 2 outs. She was on the move, went first to third with Miller at the plate. It's going to bring up Reagan Kramer. Kramer takes the first pitch ball. The junior left fielder hitting .275 on the year, .333 with runners on, .444 with runners in scoring position. As Arkansas has gotten one back here in the bottom of the first inning after surrendering 5 to the Red Hawks in the top of the first. Called strike, count 1-1.
And we've consistently seen Reagan Kramer in that 9 hole as she does turn the lineup over so well. But one thing that Coach Courtney Doffels talked about is still trying to find that groove and the pieces that fit in this offensive lineup.
Kramer batted in multiple spots a year ago. Takes the ball on the outside corner. Reagan Kramer is just one of those people that is so versatile in her approach and in her swing that you can slot her in multiple different spots in the lineup, and she produces. Miller on second, Ellis on first. 2-1. Rise ball misses high, 3-1 to Reagan Kramer, excuse me. Fans out in Kramer's corner. Jimmy has quickly created a fan base here in Fayetteville.
And I did get some feedback from a really close source of mine, and it is fans that just made that sign and are out there supporting Reagan Kramer.
3-1 back-to-back rise balls stay high as Kramer draws the walk. Bases full of hogs here in the bottom of the first inning. Kylie Halverson stepping in.
And Reagan Kramer doing what she does best, drawing the walk because she sees ball to strike so well. And who better to have up at the plate with bases loaded, 2 outs than Kylie Halverson.
Mark Redburn out to talk to his infield as Arkansas has loaded the bases with 2 outs. Action down. Halverson hitting .333 on the year. She's hitting .333 with the bases loaded and .278 with 2 outs. Big spot here for this senior from South Dakota. The 0-1. First pitch swinging over to second, fielded and by Dennis and over to first as Arkansas threatens with bases loaded. Razorbacks get 1. Backs in the top of the second. Paige Hallowell takes the first pitch strike. Hallowell walked and scored in the first inning. It was Affolter and Hallowell that walked and scored. Wrigley and Shore following those up with a pair of sacrifice flies. Linestock out in her second inning of work after taking over for Nikki McGaffin. The 1-1. Line to right center, finds some green. Johnson able to cut it off to keep Hallowell to a single. But another hit pounded out by the Redhawks.
And a solid swing by Hallowell, going and hunting that drop ball on the inside part of the plate. Let's take a look at this. Hallowell, she hunts the drop ball, gets her barrel out to it, out in front, and is able to drive it to Reagan Johnson in center field. That's a picture-perfect swing on how you attack the drop ball. She utilized her lower half to get her body down to it, dropped her barrel on it, and stayed through extension.
Kinsey Wrigley flied out to Johnson in center field in her first at bat. Gamble drawn in on the right-hand side. (1-0). Flied out to center field. Johnson tailing back, able to track it down by the warning track. Throw to second, not going to be in time. Heads up base running by Hallowell to tag in advance.
A great job by Hallowell, understanding that Reagan Johnson is sprinting back towards that left center field gap. But for Reagan Johnson, outstanding play off of the bat. She takes such an aggressive first step, her drop step so perfect, sprinting back to secure the grab.
Johnson, one of the fastest players in the country, and so that play, she's able to get there on the warning track, but against a lot of teams, that ball is into the gap.
Oh, absolutely. The entire outfield for this Arkansas staff, they cover so much ground. But for Reagan Johnson, she likes to work east to west with the screw curve mix. She has this low rise that she can throw on different planes of the strike zone, and she'll occasionally sprinkle in an off-speed pitch when she's ahead in the count.
Aubrey Shore at the plate for Southeast Missouri State. High fly ball out to right center field. Kamenzind is there to make the out. Heron enters for 2 pitches to get out of the jam. Arkansas comes to bat in the home half of the second. Hogs trail by 4. Seasons as he has built a mid-major powerhouse in Cape Girardeau. And his team leading Arkansas by 4 in the bottom of the second inning.
And what a repertoire for Coach Redburn. In that 2019 year that was so big for them. He and his team had 46 wins, which goes down as the most wins in program history.
Hannah Gamble standing in for the Razorbacks. It will be Gamble, Prigge, and then Reagan Johnson at the top of the lineup. Hannah Camenzind will see the plate if anyone would get on. It's been a gauntlet of a schedule for Southeast Missouri State, and Redburn said that he's scheduled too tough. Line to left field. Got out of here in a hurry, but foul off of the bat of Gamble.
And Coach Redburn, he talked about creating the schedule because of the fact that he has essentially the same team as last year with the addition of the freshmen, and wanting to schedule that tough to not only face that tough competition so they're prepared when they get into OVC play, but then also to continue to have that postseason push. So it's all by design to play the tough competition and to also give the freshmen a taste of the big dogs.
Gamble takes the ball low. Southeast Missouri State has already played Ohio State, Maryland, Syracuse, number 24 Auburn twice, and now Arkansas twice, all preparing the Redhawks for the Ohio Valley Conference stretch, because that is their ticket into the NCAA tournament. The 3-1 called for a strike at the top of the zone. Gamble hitting 196 on the season. Does have 10 walks already. Lifted to left field, going back, gone! Gamble, her second home run of the weekend, makes it 5-2 SEMO in the second.
And she has smiles all around as she comes around third, high-fiving Coach Courtney Deifel. What a solid swing by Hannah Gamble. Let's take another look at this. On time for Hannah Gamble, and goodbye. She gets every piece of that pitch, driving it over the left field wall.
Gamble will certainly take the home run over the walk, as Gamble with her second home run of the weekend, her second home run against Southeast Missouri State. She homered against the Redhawks to get the scoring started for the Razorbacks on Friday. They are calling the Hogs here inside Bogle Park, as Spencer Prigge stands in, takes the first pitch ball. A big hug from Coach Matt Michael in the dugout.
He likes to give those too.
Are they good hugs?
Yes.
All right.
You'll get one occasionally, and so obviously with the home run, you just really know you did something good.
Prigge swings through the strike. I feel like there's an art to hugging. Like you have to be good at it. Prigge, the junior, hitting .077 on the season. Prigge's been one of those players that's been in the rotation for that starting spot at short. It's been Prigge, Riho, and Loring Camenzind in a rotation.
And with that shortstop spot being a rotation like it is, you know, a lot of hitters, it takes a little bit of time to kind of really find that groove. Similarly to pinch hitting, you know, playing every other game or every 2 games, just takes a moment to get those game-like reps and to get in the groove.
The 2-1. Pulled foul towards the right side. Livesey up to 33 pitches. This will be number 34 through 1 full inning of work. Stays outside, the count full at 3-2. Arkansas was able to get 1 run back in the bottom of the first inning, got another off the solo shot from Hannah Gamble. 3-2, tapped foul, Prigge stays alive. We'll do the 3-2 again. Upstairs, ball 4 as Prigge works the walk.
And for Spencer Prigge, really good take on that up and in rise ball being in a full count. And for Livesey, outside of Kramer's walk, she has really been consistently filling up the strike zone and getting ahead in the count against this Arkansas offense.
That home run to Gamble, by the way, just the second home run that Livesey has surrendered this season. Turns the lineup over though for Reagan Johnson, who singled in her first plate appearance, takes a strike. Johnson singled to lead off the Razorbacks in the bottom of the first. Was out at second on a fielder's choice from Camenzind. The 0-1 shows bunt, fouled back. 0-2 to the sophomore.
And Reagan Johnson squaring around there. That was an off-speed pitch by Livesey that she just didn't keep her barrel through the zone long enough.
It's not often that you see Reagan Johnson become impatient with her barrel control. Johnson hitting .419 on the year. Leaves it up. SEMO defense playing especially deep for a player of Johnson's speed.
Typically don't see the third baseman and defenses playing Reagan Johnson this deep, but I think that is because solidified in her first at bat, she power slapped it through the gap.
Takes the ball low, the count even at 2-2. That's Wrigley at third, Shoup at short. Wrigley playing behind the bag at third base. If Johnson is able to tap a ball down that part of the field, she's going to be safe easily. The 2-2. Lined up the middle, nearly caught the umpire. That ball had eyes as Johnson 2 for 2 on the day. The Hogs in business, 2 on, no away.
And for Reagan Johnson, it is the power slap that is getting the job done today. One of the greatest in the country with her power slap. This ball is on the inner half of the plate. She clears her hips just enough to get her hands through the ball, driving it back up the middle.
With the single to Reagan Johnson, that means the day is done for Tegan Livesey. Mark Redburn makes Camenzind 0 for 1 today, drops the average from 667 to 500.
You know, just casually 666, 500.
Camenzind steps out of the box. Holman's line on Friday, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. All of those were earned. She walked 1, faced 21 batters. The first pitch to Camenzind. Back up the middle. Prigge waved around. Ball into the plate, cut off. Camenzind, first pitch swinging. It's an RBI single.
All Camenzind knows is how to hit the ball, how to get base hits, and then also how to drive in the runs. She has been so productive this weekend at the plate. This ball just down the heart of the plate. She gets her barrel to it and stays through extension, driving in Prigge from second.
Arkansas showing that aggressive base running. There was never a doubt Courtney Deifel was sending Spencer Prigge all the way. Arkansas cutting into the deficit even more. It is now just a 2-run SEMO lead. Still none out here in the second. Rylan Hedgecock takes a first pitch strike on the off speed.
And for this Arkansas offense, such a better adjustment from last night against South Dakota State to today with runners in scoring position. They're just attacking early on in the count. They're not enabling Livesey earlier and now Patience Holman to get ahead.
0-1. Stays low, 1-1. It's not just about attacking, though. It has to be about attacking the right pitch.
Absolutely. Once that pitch that you're looking to hunt shows up, attacking it, not allowing it to go by.
The 1-1. Hedgecock shows bunt, fouls it back. Hedgecock on the season, hitting .400 with runners in scoring position. .14 RBI for the senior. 1-2. Off the end of the bat, just past the outstretched glove. Safe at second is Camenzind. The coverage was late from Shoup. Infield single for Hedgecock, and the bases are loaded.
And that is another way to find yourself on base. And for Hannah Camenzind, she has so much speed as well. She gets a great jump off of first base, and Shoup just not able to get to the bag on time.
It's an infielder's worst nightmare, those slow rollers, because then it becomes a foot race in Arkansas. With that increased speed in the lineup over the last 2 years, that's a ball 3 years ago that would have been a force out at second. And instead, bases loaded for Kennedy Miller. Patience Holman not going to be able to pitch around her. You have to attack her.
Have to with the bases juiced. And for Kennedy Miller, as hot as she is hitting over the course of this weekend and season.
0-1, swung on and missed on the change.
And that is that off-speed pitch that Holman throws so well. She was effective the last time facing Arkansas. Throughout the course of the game, they had a couple of innings where, they were able to drive in some runs, but it's that curveball off-speed pitch combo that really keeps the hitters off balance.
On Friday, Arkansas scored in the 3rd and the 5th. That was it. The 0-2, Miller bounces it foul down the third base line. She stays alive. Miller's numbers this year are gaudy. With runners on, the freshman hitting .409. With runners in scoring position, she's hitting .538. With the bases loaded, she's hitting .500 on the season.
Not bad for a freshman.
And the overall average, just a paltry .452. The 0-2 lays off the off speed. Holman entering for Tegan Livesey here in the bottom of the second. Bounce to third, stepped on the bag, over to first. Double play turned by Southeast Missouri State, but Arkansas plates one more.
And that's a productive at-bat by Kennedy Miller. Not exactly what she was looking for, but she's able to drive in another run. And for Kinsey Wrigley, she was playing behind the bag. That's a good play, just securing the out at third and coming across the diamond to get the double play out. Let's take another look at this. She's behind the bag. Her momentum is taking her that way. Heads-up idea. Excuse me, heads-up play by Wrigley.
A great play by Wrigley. Couldn't have charted it any better if she wanted it to. Arkansas does get one more run as Camdenson comes in to score. Or rather, Camdenson was out at third. Johnson scored. Bree Ellis today. 0 for 1. Ellis reached on an error in her last at bat. It was off the glove of the third baseman, Wrigley. Over to the left side to short. Over to first. Nice stretch from short. Great pick to make the out. Arkansas gets 3 in the bottom of the second. 94 wins as the head coach of the Razorbacks. 6 NCAA postseason appearances, including as Heron delivers a first pitch strike, including a pair of super regionals here at Bogle Park in 2021 and 2022.
I cannot sing her praises enough. Formerly playing for Coach Courtney Deifel and the staff, and just what she's done. She stepped in, she had a vision, she knew what she wanted to do, and she's executed it with her staff and the type of girls that she has recruited, has brought in. And just year after year, the success rate, it's been there.
I've said this on previous broadcasts, both here and at other schools, but when I was getting recruited, I was getting recruited by SEC schools. Arkansas had a program, I didn't even know they existed. That's how not on the radar, as Heron misses to second. That's how not on the radar Arkansas was as a softball program in the early to mid 2000s.
Oh, but it is now.
Now
you've got girls nationally who are chomping at the bit to come play for this program. Rightfully so, with the success, the NCAA appearances, conference championship, winning the conference outright.
Courtney Deifel has built a premier program in the toughest league in the country here in Northwest Arkansas. But her team trails Southeast Missouri State by 1 in the top of the third. Sackett fouling it back into the screen. It's Sackett, Peak, and Shoup due up for the Red Hawks in the top of the third inning. Each player had a hit back in the first. Gerwitz is due up also 1 for 1 in that on deck circle, should anybody else reach. Flared to short, right into the glove of Prigge, 1 away. The SEC absolutely stacked in terms of softball talent. Tennessee picked to finish first in the conference, Arkansas fourth. When Florida is picked to finish seventh, that speaks volumes about how difficult the conference is top to bottom.
Because you will see year after year after year Florida within that top three at least.
And the SEC has just continued to rise in terms of premier conferences in the country. Although parity also rising, the talent across the board in the country. Tapped back and foul. Heron able to get ahead in the count 0-2. And we've seen the emergence of mid-major teams over the last few years. James Madison, they're really the first one back in 2019 to burst on that national stage to draw attention to the Women's College World Series, but it's becoming more and more prevalent. Fouled into the screen, McNeese State in the Southland Conference has built themselves into a premier program. They knocked off Washington a year ago, and so the level across the board of softball talent is just growing as a whole.
Absolutely, and the game has just evolved so much. It's grown so much. And for a lot of these programs, being able to take girls, that are homegrown girls and bring them onto their program, as well as recruit, like you're talking about McNeese and some of these other programs nationally, it just speaks volume to the way that the game has grown, but then the level of success and the way that girls have just elevated their game.
The 0-2 in the dirt for the first ball of the at-bat. There's been so much talk about the transfer portal and how it's changed the landscape. In some sports, the belief is that it's changed the landscape for the worse because it favors the Power Fives, but it also works the other way because players at the Power Five level that don't see a lot of playing time can now transfer to a mid-major as the 1-2 stays in the dirt 2-2, and they can make an immediate impact at a mid-major team.
I was just about to bring that up to you and propose actually the question to you, Dorian, about the transfer portal, but you're exactly right. I mean, we're seeing girls going from Power 5 schools and transferring to these mid-major schools and, just being able to immediately step in with that experience that they had from their previous school and make a difference.
Battle in the box for Peak as she and Heron are going at it.
And Southeast Missouri State, they have made from game 1 against Arkansas to now being game 2 so many offensive adjustments, especially against Linestock earlier in the game. They were hunting her drop ball, attacking it.
Heron locks up Peak, strikeout looking, 2 away in the third.
And a big strikeout by Heron as she is just going after Peak. This low rise ball gets the strikeout looking.
Heron has that 3-tier rise, that low rise coming right in, coming back across the plate. First strikeout of the day recorded by an Arkansas pitcher. Stays just low to Shoop. Shoop had doubled in a run in the first inning, part of that 5-run spot for the Redhawks. Arkansas has been able to keep SEMO off the board since then. Misses outside as Shoop ahead in the count 2-0. .333 for the freshman shortstop. Takes the ball in. As Heron has fallen behind 3-0. This is the part of the lineup sitting in that 7, 8, 9 spot as a pitcher. You never want to fall behind at this portion. The 3-0. 4 straight balls as Shoop works a walk.
Because inevitably, you get to the bottom of the lineup, you get runners on base, and you turn it over to the top of the lineup. And for Robin Heron, over the course of this weekend, she's been so competitive on the mound, but there has been those spurts of her losing it outside of the strike zone, having some walks.
Heron up to 45 innings on the season. First pitch strike to Gerwitz. Gerwitz singled back up the middle in the first inning. 45 innings for Heron this year, 28 hits, 16 runs, 14 of those have been earned. 0-1. Stays low. Southeast Missouri State has had a runner on in every inning so far. Fouled back into the screen. Arkansas trying to close out the weekend with their second win over Southeast Missouri of the weekend. The Hogs beat them 5-0 on Friday. The 1-2. Out to left center field. Kramer ranging over. That's Johnson to make the final out. Heron works around a 2-out walk. Hoggy in the 4-hole. Kramer worked a walk in her first at bat. Puts down the bunt, great spin, great placement. Leadoff single for Reagan Kramer.
Just to show the versatility that Reagan Kramer has at the plate, she is able to lay down the bunt when the corners are playing about back high. She's able to draw the walk, hit the long ball. She's not a hitter that you see move in motion as she does just stand in and swing away, but beautifully executed bunt down the third baseline.
SEMO's left side has been playing base level or behind. Kramer taking advantage. Brings up Kylie Halverson, who takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. Halverson 0 for 1, grounded out to second to end the bottom of the first inning. Hitting .328 on the year, the 0-1. Off speed misses, low and out. Patience Holman entering in the second inning. He's given up 2 hits in 5 batters that she's faced. Drops in the off speed for a called strike.
She is just utilizing her off-speed pitch time and time again on that outer part of the plate.
A pair of off-speed pitches in this sequence gets Holman ahead 1-2 to Halverson. Tapped, foul. Kylie Halverson in her second season as a part of this Razorbacks program. Through the left side, single for Halverson. Back-to-back hits to start the third for the Hogs.
And for Kylie Halverson, big-time moment, stepping up, driving it through the 5-6 hole. This is the type of tone that you want to see from your offense setting. And again, being down on the count, but continuing to attack and finding a way to drive the ball through the infield.
Already 7 hits for the Razorbacks. Not even 3 full innings in, and it brings Hannah Gamble to the plate. Gamble with a solo shot in her first at bat. First pitch swinging. That was a big cut from Gamble.
A big cut, and let's take a look at this beautiful home run hit by Hannah Gamble one more time. Off speed pitch, down and out. She's got so much strength and the ability to let the ball travel deep and still drive it to left field.
Hannah Gamble.
Oh, well, girl.
Gamble hitting .185 with runners on this year. Takes the ball on the outside corner. The home run in the second, Gamble's 5th of the season. 11 hits, 11 runs for the senior. The 1-1 shows bunt, pushes it towards the right side. Great bunt over to first. Gamble is out, but does her job, moves both runners into scoring position.
And she did her job. Off-speed pitch by Holman was enabling Hannah Gamble to really just stay on it and push it down that first base line. And this is so effective here. Sack bunt to move the runners around to get them even further into scoring position. Can't draw it up better than that. Off-speed pitch to get it down the first baseline.
It moves Kramer to third and Halverson to second for Spencer Prigge, who walked in her first plate appearance. Squeeze was on as Prigge fouls it back.
Coach Courtney Deifel here, we've seen for the second inning that she is putting runners in motion and finding a way to manufacture runs.
A little bit of a small ball from the Razorbacks.
And she talked about this being, you know, an element that they have been able to do offensively that they haven't been able to do in years past, and that is because of the fact of having speed on the base pass more than what they have been able to have in years past.
The 0-1. Prigge swings through the changeup. Now Wrigley at third will move back to base depth. Arkansas 2-1, one away here in the bottom of the third, trailing by 1. The 0-2 stays low and out.
Purpose pitch, doesn't get Prigge chasing. And in this moment right here, being down by 1 run, still early in the ball game, but this is a moment right here for Prigge that she could really dig in and bust this thing open.
Prigge pulls it down the right side and foul. Arkansas has had runners on in every inning. They stranded 3 in the first, 1 in the second. They have 2 on here in the third. The 1-2. Prigge lifts it into shallow right field in no man's land. Kramer will score. With the infield drawn in, Prigge couldn't have placed it any more perfectly.
She absolutely could not place it any more perfectly, Dorian. And for Hannah Gamel, her sack bunt comes in clutch, and Spencer Prigge dug in and found a way to drive in another run. Let's take a look at this pitch. It's down and out that she's able to get her barrel around and hit it just enough to get it in front of Gerwitz out in right field. And that's where the short game comes in handy. That sack bunt by Hannah Gamel got Kamenzen over to third base, enabling a sac fly or just a little blue pip hit to drive in a run.
Kramer comes across to score the tying run. It's the 18th run of the year for the junior. Brings up Reagan Johnson. Johnson lifts it on the infield, Shore calling for it. 1 pitch and Johnson is retired. 2 out, runners on first and third, but Hannah Kamenzen, who has been absolutely red hot, comes to the plate. Sydney, what's the strategy here with runners on first and third going up against a player that's been swinging as well as Kamenzen has?
Just let her swing.
I'm more meant defensively for SEMO.
Oh, defensively. I was about to say, let her swing, let her attack
Obviously.
Defensively for SEMO, you know, understanding there's 2 outs for the middle infielders, play back, allow your range to work, get the out at second, get the out at first. But in the outfield, I'm playing a little bit more back than I am in, as she has been hitting a lot of deep fly balls gap to gap.
Kamenzen has been on base both times. Took a first pitch strike, the count even at 1-1 after that ball. Kamenzen grounded into a fielder's choice and scored in the first and singled and was stranded in the second. Seven RBI on the season for the sophomore. Pitch number 31 coming from Patience Holman. 1-1. Fly ball drifting out to left field. Under it is Affelter. She makes the catch. 3 away in the bottom of the third inning. We're all knotted up at 5 as we head to the 5 against the number 16 Razorbacks. They have been looking for that veteran presence to step up this year. 7 seniors return off of the team that won the OVC championship, the regular season championship, a year ago. Over 100 career wins in that class's history. It's a lot of experience on the field for the Redhawks.
a lot of experience, and one thing that Coach Redburn talks about is just a lot of the seniors are well decorated, have been impactful year after year after year. And with the way the progression of the season thus far, Coach Redburn just talked about having one of those seniors to really just step up and take control of resetting the tone, reshifting where the team is at.
The 0-2 to Sydney Dennis. Sliced foul into the screen. It is a top-heavy class in terms of juniors and seniors for Southeast Missouri State. 7 seniors on the roster, 6 juniors. There are 10 freshmen to even it out, but still upperclassmen, veteran squad for the Redhawks this year, looking to compete in the OVC. As Dennis lets it go, the Redhawks picked to finish first in the league.
And for a few of these seniors and juniors, you know, talking about last season and the success that they have, a number of them were named first team All Ohio Valley Conference, All Tournament team.
The 1-2 stays low, 2-2. And this is a squad, Sydney, especially with those veteran players. They won the OVC tournament in 2019, but they have been regular season champions in 2019, 2021, and 2023 with only 1 tournament appearance to show for it. Dennis lines what would be a single, but Reagan Johnson snatches it before it hits the turf. What a defensive gem.
Reagan Johnson, ESPN play right there. She covers so much ground in the outfield. Look at this jump that she gets right off of the bat, lays out, all-out effort.
I'll be honest, I was ready to call that a single for Dennis until I saw Johnson coming in to make the grab. There's one away here in the top of the 4th. It brings Brittany Alfelter to the plate. Alfelter made the catch to end the home half of the 3rd. 0 for 1 today, walked and scored in the 1st, grounded out to 2nd in the 2nd. Takes a strike at the top of the strike zone.
Gosh, that's such a good play. That's why Reagan Johnson has center field locked down.
Arguably one of the fastest outfields in the country, with Reagan Johnson in center, Reagan Kramer in left. Rise ball stays up and out. We were joking with Courtney Deifel prior to the tournament. There are not many balls that are dropping in the outfield with this defensive alignment that the Razorbacks have. The 2-1. Swung on and missed as Affelter goes down on strikes.
And Robin Heron on full display. Her rise ball that she's able to throw at those different tiers through the strike zone.
Two away in the top of the 4th inning.
And to go back to that, Dorian, about Coach Deifel talking about not a lot of balls dropping in the outfield. You know, sometimes balls are hit, and as a coach to the outfield, you're kind of like, oh gosh, oh gosh. More times than not, when it's hit out there, not even a flinch.
Paige Hallowell fouls it back into the seats. 1-1 to the senior. 1 for 1 today. Drew a walk and scored as part of that 5-run first, then singled and was stranded in the 2nd. Hallowell drops the bunt down the right side. Miscommunication between Heron and Gamble as Hallowell picks up her 2nd hit of the day.
And for Hollowell, such a smart idea there with Robin Heron being a left-handed pitcher. Hannah Gamble was playing about bag high. Let's take another look at this. Hannah Gamble actually was crashing in, but understanding with Robin Heron being a left-handed pitcher, if you're able to get that bunt to the right side of the field, it gives you a good shot as she has to turn her body completely around to get the out at first.
First pitch strike to Kinsey Wrigley. I can tell you as a former third baseman, a bunt that's pushed towards the right side of the field, especially when your first baseman's playing back, you have to cover so much ground to be able to get there. That was a great decision there by Hallowell. Put it in the exact perfect spot. Gets the infield single. Wrigley swings through the rise. Heron coming back with back-to-back strikes to quickly get ahead 0-2. 2 out, 1 on for the Redhawks. The 0-2 stays low. Wrigley 0 for 1 today. Sacrifice fly and a fly out. This will be her first time facing Herring. The 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Herring gets a pair of Ks and works around a 1-out single. It's still 5-all with the Hogs coming to 3. But FAU, the first pitch, ball to Ryland Hedgecock in the bottom of the 4th. FAU coming back and beating South Dakota State twice, and handily at that, 8-5 on Friday, and then 8-3 earlier this afternoon.
We have seen some really good softball this weekend offensively, and FAU beating South Dakota State twice. That speaks volume to their team. South Dakota State did play a very tight game against Arkansas yesterday, securing the win.
Hedgecock flies out to second. This has been Southeast Missouri State's best game of the tournament by far. They had been outscored 31-4 coming into this game, but looked more like the team that was predicted to win the OVC championship.
They've made adjustments. Offensively, they have made great adjustments offensively. Attacking early in the count, hunting the off-speed pitch, hunting the rise ball, and then also in the circle, Patience Holman, she's been very, very effective with her pitching arsenal and utilizing her off-speed pitch like we just saw there to do the work.
Right on cue, pulls the string to get Kennedy Miller to swing through. Miller 0 for 2. Rather 1 for 2. Miller singled in her first plate appearance. She did ground into a double play in her second. Fly ball out to left field, hanging up. It will be to Affolter, standing nearly in her tracks, 2 away here in the 4th.
And if you're Coach Redburn, this is the type of game that you want to see from your team. All around the diamond, they are just super gritty, they're dialed in, and they're being intentional with every rep that they take offensively.
Bree Ellis stepping in. Ellis moving to the 5 spot today. She had been batting second in the order. Takes the first pitch strike as Courtney Deifel still looking for that combination that unlocks the potential of this offense before the Razorbacks get to SEC play.
And you know, with one more weekend of preseason play before getting into SEC play, that's, again, one thing that Coach Courtney Deifel talked about is just really getting the flow of what the offense is going to look like, the pieces being in the perfect place.
Ellis in her first season with the Razorbacks after transferring over from SEC foe Auburn has found a home here in Fayetteville. Has talked about the family atmosphere and how welcoming the program has been. Off speed, fouled back into the screen.
And as far as the coaching staff and her teammates, you know, it has that family feel, but also just the state, the fan base, the university. It absolutely has that family feel because it is a state that is just so supportive of the University of Arkansas.
Hogs tied with SEMO at 5 in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-2, 2 out to Ellis. Pulled down the left field line, rather nice snag by Wrigley over to first. Hogs go down in order. We're still tied, headed to the 5th. Side that is already stacked in terms of coaches, with Coach Michael, Coach Gasso joining the coaching staff this year as well, and then Danielle Gibson-Wharton with all that she was able to accomplish here. Just good to have her home.
Coach Courtney Deifel talks about it just being such a beautiful thing to have had coached her and understanding just the great knowledge that she has about the game, and then the experiences that she has. She said she is the biggest asset, one of the biggest assets to their coaching staff, with her have had played and the experience that she has, and just being able to relate to the girls.
It's so important to have those conduits from the players to the coach. Coach Deifel, one of the more approachable coaches, as that ball stays up to Aubrey Shore in terms of her players, but you always have to have that little buffer. You have to have that coach that can be the person that can give the bad news or be the friend in a way that the head coach can't be.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was really instrumental in Georgia's coaching staff last year as she spent a year there.
Short grounds out to Ellis for the first out of the 5th.
And she's still playing. She's playing for Athletes Unlimited very, competitively, and she's playing on an elite level. She's going to be back again this year playing with Athletes Unlimited. And I, for one, I was a teammate of Danielle Gibson's, and I got to experience what it was like to play with her and to understand her knowledge of the game, but then also how she just pushed her teammates, pushed us around her to elevate the program and to be better, and I just cannot speak more about she as a person and an athlete.
First pitch to Kat Sackett, fouled away. How amazing, though, is the Athletes Unlimited as a whole and what it's doing for female athletes and allowing, I say us, it wasn't available for when I played, but just allowing women to play, as that ball outside, to play at the next level, to get that kind of exposure and grow these games that we love so much.
Oh, I mean, it's amazing. And softball, it's had it in the past, but to be able to have the opportunity to play at the next level, to play professionally, get endorsed
and
by
at
brands.
Home.
Yeah.
And not have to go overseas.
And not have to go overseas. I mean, it is huge. And the whole concept of it, too, makes it just so interesting as well with the individual aspects. It's just so great to see that when you're in college now, you can continue to strive for that next level of play.
There's so many opportunities now as the 1-2 pitch to Sackett stays high, 2-2 from Heron. But it's so great to see all the opportunities that are available because it used to be so limited in what was available to college athletes once they were finished. Your options were pretty much you make the Olympic team. We only had so many spots, or you go play overseas, or you were done. And now all of these opportunities, and they're just continuing to grow. The 2-2 from Heron, in and out of the glove of Miller as Sackett stays alive. And it's not just softball. Volleyball has Athletes Unlimited. There's the new Pro Volleyball League that's starting here in the United States. So it's not just women on the field, but on the court as well. It is great to see women's sports get so much growth and support over the last few seasons. The 2-2. Fouled, back and out of play as Sackett stays alive. Who's the most famous female athlete you can think of?
Oh gosh, there's so many, between softball to basketball to, track. I would say within the softball space, I'm a big fan of Alicia Ocasio. She still is playing, and she has done a lot within the softball space. She's played for her country, but then also she plays in Athletes Unlimited.
I still think of Jenny Finch is maybe the most popular female athlete of my generation. The 2-2 lifted on the edge of the infield. Prigge back, couldn't handle it as it was tailing away with the wind, in and out of the glove as Sackett reaches on the error.
Tough play to make. It's the type of ball that you've got to get your body behind, as the wind did play a factor. The wind is whipping out there. But yeah, to go back to Jenny Finch, when she used to do her circuit of camps, and when she would come to Arkansas, let's take another look at this. High fly ball, the wind is playing an effect here, and it just dies down and allows it to drop.
Well, the wind is whipping right to left, which is the direction that ball tailed away from Spencer Prigge, as the first pitch is low and away to Peak. Southeast Missouri State got 5 runs in the top of the first inning. They have been held scoreless since then. Peak 1 for 2 with a single and a run. Peak, Shoup, Gerwitz up next for the Redhawks. Line to center field. Johnson going back to make the catch. Well struck ball, but Johnson there to make the out.
And Reagan Johnson just steadily locking down center field. Again, just such a great read off of the bat. Her drop step and the way that she's able to turn her hips and utilize her speed is just tremendous in the outfield.
1 on, 1 away as Shoup stands in. Sophie Shoup, the freshman from Columbia, Missouri, takes the first pitch strike. Shoup doubled in the first, walked in her last plate appearance. Hitting .333 on the year. Takes the ball low from Heron, the count even at 1-1. 2-1. Stays low, runner on the move, throw in time, but in and out of the glove of Halverson. Halverson comes up shaking that left hand. Came into contact with her foot prior to touching the bag, but Halverson did not possess it long enough for that to be a recorded out. Gutsy move by SEMO. They've got a runner in scoring position with 2 out here in the 5th. The 2-1 to Shoop. High and tight, 3-1. Strike caught on the outside corner, full count to number 1 in red. On the season, Shoop hitting .429 with runners in scoring position, 600 with 2 outs. 3-2, swung on and missed. Robin Heron gets the swinging strikeout to keep SEMO off the board. All they can handle. It's tied at 5-all in the bottom of the 5th. Kramer, Halverson, Hannon, Gamble due up in the home half of the inning. The crowd filling in on the berm and in the stands for this 4th and final day of the Woo Pig Classic here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is the final of 10 games of the tournament. Southeast Missouri State looking for their first win of the tournament. Arkansas trying to end it 4-1, the lone blemish on their record this weekend. A 7-3 loss last night against South Dakota State. Patience Holman out for her 4th inning of work in relief. She's given up 1 run, 4 hits in 13 batters faced. Reagan Kramer singled on a bunt in her last plate appearance. Takes the first pitch strike.
Go, Jimmy.
Kramer hitting .293 on the season. 12 hits, 17 walks for the junior. Stays upstairs, 1-1. It's really been the bottom part of the Razorbacks lineup that has done damage here this afternoon. Kramer, Halverson, Gamble, Prigge, all with a hit to their name. As Kramer takes another ball to get ahead in the count.
And the bottom half of the lineup has been very productive in the sense that in their approach going up to the plate, they're taking balls that are out of the zone, and when that ball shows up through the heart of the plate, they are jumping all over it.
The 2-1 stays low and out, 3-1 to Kramer. The only players not to record a hit in this game, Rylan Hedgecock and Kennedy Miller. Miller came in hitting .500 on the weekend with 3 home runs. .3-1. Kramer lifts it out to right field. Gerwitz is there to make the out, 1 away.
Now batting for Arkansas, the second baseman, number 12, Kylie Halverson.
Kylie Halverson will come to the plate, 1 for 2 on the day for the senior from South Dakota, hitting .339. Halverson singled in the 3rd and was stranded on 3rd base. Last inning was the first time that Arkansas had been retired in order. They've left 6 runners on as Halverson first pitch swinging over to Wrigley. 5-3 put away. 1 pitch, 1 out, as there are 2 away now for Hannah Gamble.
And Patience Holman, throughout the course of coming in relief, she has shown a lot of composure. She's shown a lot of response after giving up some singles, allowing some runs, but she's had such a good response from batter to batter and how she's attacking them, how she's adjusting, how she's pitching to the offense. You know, we talk about it a lot, offensively making adjustments, but she's done a great job of making pitching adjustments as the game has progressed.
Holman will have to be careful as the sequence to which she pitches Hannah Gamble. 1 for 1 with a solo home run and a sacrifice bunt that led to the tying run for Gamble. 1-0. High fly ball, but it will stay in play underneath of it as Affolter hogs 6 up, 6 down for the Razorbacks. We head to the 6th. It's up. Pinch hitter for Southeast Missouri State. It is going to be number 5. Brooklyn Sasoff, the freshman, batting in place of Gerwitz. Sasoff was 0 for 1 in Friday's matchup between these two teams. Takes the first pitch ball from Robin Heron. In that game, Sasoff walked and struck out. Sasoff, Dennis, Affolter, the top of the order, due up for SEMO in the 6th. (1-0). Stays high, 2-0. For the game, Heron has issued just 1 walk. That was a 4-pitch walk. Three straight balls to Sasoff. SEMO has not gotten a leadoff runner on since the 1st inning. 4 straight balls and Sasoff works the walk.
And in a tight ball game like this, it is critical that you get the lead-off hitter on base.
SEMO has left a runner on in every inning. They've had 5 runners left on base, 5 runs on 6 hits, committed 1 error. As Taylor Gerwitz will re-enter to run. Gerwitz 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts this year as a team. SEMO doesn't run very much. They're 9 for 10 on the year. Dennis shows bunt, Gamble right in her face. Fouled back to Miller.
She is not scared to get
I think that's the definition of a bull rush.
Absolutely. But also understanding in this moment, Dennis, her job is going to be to get the sack bunt down to move Dennis over, or Gerwitz, excuse me, to second.
Dennis again shows bunt, corners in right to Gamble. Throw over to first as Dennis sacrifices Gerwitz to second.
And the sack bunt, Dennis gets the job done, moving Gerwitz over to second.
We saw the sacrifice pay dividends for Arkansas in the 3rd inning. It was Hannah Gamble who put down the sacrifice to eventually move Reagan Kramer into scoring position. Another pinch hitter coming up for Southeast Missouri State as Mark Redburn goes to Gracie Luna off of the bench, the freshman catcher. Will get an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Luna hitting .240 on the season, .222 with runners in scoring position, 6 hits in 25 at-bats for the freshman. First pitch strike on the outside corner from Heron.
In an instance where we're seeing Coach Redburn entrusting in his freshmen that have gotten some playing time. Sasoff, she led things off with the walk. And for Luna here, this is a big moment with a runner in scoring position, tie ball game.
Takes a ball upstairs, count even at 1-1. Luna's best game this season came on February the 24th. She was 2 for 2 with a double against Northern Iowa. 1-1, swinging through the strike. Heron gets ahead.
I think one of the victories so far throughout this game for SEMO is you have felt their presence the entire time. From pitch 1, from start of the game, you just have felt their presence the entire game.
1-2, swung on and missed. Robin Heron's 5th strikeout of the afternoon.
Robin Heron just racking up the case. Take a look again at this rise ball that just elevates through the zone.
First pitch swinging is Hallowell. Hallowell 2 for 2 today. Walked in the 1st and is singled in the 2nd in the 4th. 0-1. Taken for a strike on the outside corner. Heron dialing it in.
She is dialed in, absolutely filling up the strike zone.
Gerwitz on second base. It's the go-ahead run for the Redhawks. 0-2. Foul. Up. It's going to get out of play as Hallowell will live to fight another pitch. The 0-2 stays low. Good job by Miller to glove it.
And just Kennedy Miller being on full display behind home plate. One thing that she does so well is balls in the dirt, being able to have a handle on them.
1-2 to the number 2 batter in the SEMO order. 1-2. Fly deep to center field. Johnson going back at the warning track and step in front of the wall. Hallowell gives it a ride, but it is outnumbered 3-5 all. Hogs come to bat in the bottom of the sixth. Choice. And Spencer Prigge, little floater to find some green, and it will be Prigge leading things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch swinging, pulls it down the right side. Prigge, Johnson, Cammons in to do up for Arkansas in the bottom of the 6th inning. Those three combining to be 4 for 7 on the afternoon. Had to do a quick mental math.
Quick math.
Prigge hitting 143, did have the RBI single. Takes a ball low, count even at 1-1. Prigge has been looking for a way to insert herself more into this Arkansas rotation. Coming up with timely hits, a great way to do that. The 1-1. Prigge fouled back and out of play over the press box.
And for Arkansas here, being a tie ball game, bottom of the 6th inning, this is a perfect place to be with Spencer Prigge up to bat and quickly turning it over to the top of the lineup.
Prigge seeing her first action of the weekend today against Southeast Missouri State. Hadn't played since February the 23rd against UT Arlington. 1-2, stays high, count even at 2-2.
And with Spencer Prigge not playing since UT Arlington, again, just talking about the rotation at shortstop and still trying to figure out that piece.
Prigge, the junior from Phoenix, Arizona. The 2-2. Taken low, count full to the leadoff hitter for the Hogs. Arkansas has gone 6 up, 6 down. They have not had a base runner since the 3rd inning. (3-2). Dribbled down the first base line. Shore has it, steps on the bag. 3 unassisted for the out.
And with the Arkansas Razorbacks not scoring since the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's a testament to the adjustment that Patience Holman has made in the circle, the way that she is attacking this Arkansas offense. She's just utilizing her off-speed pitch time and time again early in the count to get ahead in the count, and then she's working lower in the zone.
What adjustment then does Arkansas's hitters need to make to the off-speed and placement in the zone as Reagan Johnson? First pitch ball.
We saw it last inning, the 3 really quick outs. Arkansas was attacking early in the count. They were in 2 of the at-bats hitting first pitch strike. I think being a little bit more patient, but having to decipher, are you going to sit on the changeup or are you going to work to get to that draw ball in the lower part of the zone? Picking one of those pitches and going on the hunt for it.
Off the end of the bat, 1-1 to Johnson, who's 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles. Singled to lead things off in the first, singled and scored in the second. Johnson up to 421 on the season. Has been on base in nearly half of her at-bats this year. The 1-1. Swung on and missed on the drop, 1-2. Patience Holman, after giving up 5 runs and 6 hits to Arkansas on Friday. Through 4 1/3, she's given up just 1 run and 4 hits. 1-2. Johnson holds, stays low, count 2-2.
It's a good take right there, being in a 1-2 count. The previous pitch before, swinging and missing on that drop ball.
Holman has retired 7 straight hogs. 2-2. Pulled towards the right side. Shore again. Steps on the bag, 2 away.
For Patience Holman, I mean, just that combination of the off-speed pitch and drop ball. Her drop ball is really on, and it has been for the past 2.5 innings.
Hannah Kamenzen stepping to the plate. Kamenzen 1 for 3. Kamenzen has put together a solid weekend at the plate, has spent most of her time in an Arkansas uniform as primarily a pitcher, but working herself as she takes the ball low into a jack of all trades, plays the outfield, pitches, you can put her in to hit. These are her numbers across the weekend, or this season rather. 2 2/3, batting .611 this year, 11 hits, 7 RBI. She has picked up the majority of those 7 hits as she takes the pitch low. The majority of those 7 hits have come this weekend.
Her versatility is unreal, and to be able to play on both sides of the diamond offensively, outside of pitching and playing defense, the ability to be able to hit at a high level just speaks volume to the athlete that she is.
2-0, 3-0, 3 straight balls to Hannah Kamenzen.
And I'll tell you one adjustment, if I'm hitting Dorian and I'm in this game right now, I'm in the front of the box. I'm standing and swinging in the front of the box with the way that Patience Holman's drop ball breaks, as well as the off-speed pitch that she throws.
Kamenzen towards the back, takes the called strike. Kamenzen grounded into a fielder's choice in the first and scored. Singled and was stranded in the second and flew out to left in the third. 3-1. Kamenzen lifts it deep to center field. Trailing back is Hallowell. 1-2-3, go the Hogs. We head to the 7th. We're tied at 5. Missouri State, but Robin Herron has come in and shut the Red Hawks down. 1 hit through 4 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts. But Arkansas, despite scratching out runs in the first, second, and third, has not been able to get a base runner on in the last 3 innings. So we head to the 7th, tied at 5. It will be Wrigley, Shore, and Sackett due up for Southeast Missouri State. Peak is waiting should anybody reach. Wrigley 0 for 2 today. Sacrifice fly, a fly out, drops the bunt. Herron to Halverson. Just able to hang on as Wrigley is retired for the first out of the inning.
And that is a great job by Robin Herron, fielding her position, getting off the rubber, coming to field the bunt, and getting her body squared around this ball. Really good bunt by Wrigley, an idea to get some momentum. And for Kylie Halverson to be able to hustle over there to first and hang with it. But also, she's no stranger to being at first base. So.
Halverson played all of last season at first base. Down the line, just inside the bag. Fair ball for Shore. Into the corner, she's turning for second. The throw not in time. Aubrey Shore coming through with a 1-out double in the top of the 7th.
Aubrey Shore coming in clutch to get into scoring position. This ball's on the outer part of the plate. She lets it get deep and just blisters it down the right field line. This is the momentum that you want right now. Your last opportunity, top of the 7th inning. That's the kind of hit that you need to get something going.
Pinch runner coming in for Southeast Missouri State. It's going to be number 4, the freshman Kinley Wilkins. As Shore gives way, Southeast Missouri State with a runner in scoring position, 1 away in the top of the 7th inning. This would undoubtedly be the Red Hawks' biggest win of the season if they could find a way to pull this out against the Razorbacks.
And this could be that game that just shifts the momentum and turns things around. And I think we're seeing here that SEMO team that Coach Redburn's talked about and what we have seen year after year.
Flared to left field. Kramer coming on, tracks it down. Wilkins has to retreat to second. That was squared up well, but right at Reagan. Kramer out in left field. Marissa Peak, the catcher. 1 for 3 today, coming to the plate. Singled and scored in the first. That is Kramer's corner out there in left field, making it her own over the last 2 seasons. Peak singled and scored in the first, caught looking in the third, and lined out to center in the 5th. First pitch stays high for a ball. On the day, SEMO 7 of 25 at the plate. Swinging through the rise ball is Peak. The count even at 1-1. Five of Southeast Missouri State's 7 hits have come with 2 outs. They are 2 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. 1-1. High pop-up. It'll stay on the infield. Gamble calling for it. She's there. Southeast Missouri State gets a double from Aubrey Shore, but Arkansas keeps them off the board. Hogs have a chance to win it in the bottom. Are we back? Three, 4, 5 due up for Arkansas in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Bogle Bombers alive and well. Rylan Hedgecock, Kennedy Miller rather, and Bree Ellis due up. All 3 players on that home run list. Bree Ellis with 7, Hedgecock with 3, and Kennedy Miller with 3. All of those coming this weekend. This is the part of the lineup that you want if you are the Hogs. 1-0. Fly ball out to right field, shallow right field. Coming on to make the catch is Gerwitz. There's 1 away in the inning. Arkansas scored 1 in the 3rd to tie this game at 5, but it has been all patience Holman and Southeast Missouri State since then. Holman has not surrendered a base runner to the Hogs over the last 3+ innings. The freshman Miller 0 for 3 today, but with 3 home runs on the weekend. First pitch strike.
And for Patience Holman from third, I'm just going to keep belaboring the point that she has made the ultimate adjustment on the rubber. The way that she's kept the Arkansas offense off balance with her off-speed pitch and keeping the ball lower in the zone, it's been tremendous.
5 1/3 innings of work for Holman. The 0-1 on the ground to short. Shoot gloves it over to short in time to get Miller. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Bree Miller coming to the plate, 7 home runs to lead the Razorbacks on the season. Ellis 1 for 3 today, singled in the first, but has grounded out in back-to-back plate appearances. Ellis was 1 for 3 on Friday. First pitch. Pulled down the third baseline, foul.
Get a free ball.
If you're Ellis in Arkansas here, Sydney, are you trying to be patient for a base runner, or are you going hunting to try and end it on 1 swing?
I think being dialed in and just looking to just piece up a good piece of hitting, hit the ball hard and get on base. It's easy to obviously want to swing for the fences and end it in a home run. But I think just having a consistent at bat.
The 0-1 stays low, 1-1.
Just staying consistent within your at bat and just try to hit the ball hard. Get it through the infield, get on base, pass the bat.
Holman's stats today, 64 pitches, 5 2/3. She has been lights out since entering in relief of Tegan Livesey. The 1-1. Fouled off the hands, 1-2.
And her defense has been working hard behind her. She's gotten a lot of ground ball outs fly out to the outfield. Defense has been perfect behind her.
Holman does not have a walk, does not have a strikeout recorded, so the defense playing a huge part of keeping this Arkansas Razorback offense at bay. The 1-2 to Ellis. Stays low, 2-2. So hard as a hitter not to chase in a situation like this.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're wanting to go big fly or just in a situation with 2 outs wanting to get on base, it's very easy to chase, especially being down on the count.
5-all, 2-2, 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch. Fouled back right in front of the press box. Cindy, you could have nearly gotten that one as Ellis stays alive.
Only if the window was open. Could have leaned over.
I think that's the closest one we've gotten to the press box in 3 years. The result is Ellis will get another pitch from Holman. This will be number 70 on the afternoon. The 2-2. Back up the middle. Ellis comes through with a 2-out single, and Arkansas has life.
And that's the type of at-bat that you want to see, putting the pressure on, being patient, taking the balls, and then getting a good piece of hitting back up the middle. It's all about just passing the bat.
Arkansas will go to a pinch runner. It'll be the redshirt sophomore out of Greenwood, Arkansas, Adley Saki in to run for Bree Ellis. As Reagan Kramer steps to the plate, Kramer 1 for 2, walked in the first, singled and scored in the third, flew out to right field in the 5th. Interesting part of the lineup for Arkansas. Kramer does have power to go yard, but she's more of a gap-to-gap hitter. Saki runs well at first. First pitch to Kramer. Stays low. Arkansas has 5 runs on 9 hits. Southeast Missouri State 5 runs on 7 hits. Both teams have committed an error. Arkansas has left 6 runners on base this afternoon, none since the 3rd inning. The 1-0. Taken for a high strike. The 1-1. Kramer lines to center field, going back, and able to haul it in is Hallowell. We will head to extras here at Bogle Park, tied at 5. Both of these pitchers have been completely lights out over the last 3 innings.
They have been lights out, and for Patience Holman, she just has adjusted so well to this offense, and for Robin Heron, she has been dialed in, and it's defense as well. Defensively for SEMO, the infield has made tremendous plays with balls on the ground, and Reagan Johnson for Arkansas, she has taken away a lot of SEMO hits in center field.
Credit Paige Hallowell for taking away what looked to be a potential hit in the bottom of the 7th. It will be Shoup, Gerwitz, Dennis due up for SEMO in the top of the 8th inning. And then Affolter at the top of the order should anybody reach. Shoup 1 for 2 with a double and a walk and a K. Swings through that rise ball. 1-2 the count.
And Robin Heron's rise ball has been electric today since coming in relief. She's been throwing it at those different tiers through the strike zone, starting at low, about chest high, and then out of the zone when necessary.
1-2. Shoup lays off the rise ball. The stats for Heron: 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 21 batters faced. Nikki McGaffin got the start for the Razorbacks before giving way to Morgan Linestock. 2-2. Full count to Shoup.
And for Heron, when she is able to live upstairs against opponents, that is when she is most successful.
(3-2). Swung on and missed. 6th strikeout of the afternoon for Robin Heron.
And Robin Heron just pounding the strike zone, utilizing her rise ball. We see it here. It starts about belt high and finishes underneath the hands. Just such tight spin and late break. It's hard to adjust as a hitter to work on top of her rise ball.
7th straight inning, the leadoff batter has been retired. Gerwitz takes a called strike. Take a look at the numbers for the pitchers that did not start this game, both getting towards full game numbers. 6 full innings for Holman, 5 2/3 for Heron. Gerwitz slaps it out to center field. Johnson going back and makes the grab! Reagan Johnson stealing a hit from Taylor Gerwitz. What a play!
Reagan Johnson yet again, not allowing a ball to drop in the outfield. The way that she adjusts, this ball is squared up to center field and she's playing shallow. The ability to adjust going from one way to cut back the other, so impressive.
Giving me Jim Edmonds vibes going over the shoulder to make the catch. 2 away in the top of the 8th inning. Sydney Dennis standing in. First pitch fouled back into the screen.
Stealing hit after hit after hit.
You hear so often in basketball about coaches talking about their interior players taking away points at the rim. I would love to know, get Coach Michael on this, he's the stats guy, how many runs Reagan Johnson takes away over the course of a year. 0-1, sliced down the third baseline, foul, as Heron quickly ahead in the count. 0-2.
I mean, those are the 1% plays that she's making, like the 1%.
Those are the plays that don't show up as anything different than a regular fly out in the stat book, but make a difference over the course of a season. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, off speed. Miller has to hustle over to Ellis. Simo retired in order in the top of the 8th thanks to a phenomenal catch from Reagan Johnson in center. Hogs with a chance to win it in the home half of the inning. Tied at 5 between number 16 Arkansas and Southeast Missouri State. 7-8-9, 2 up for the Razorbacks. Halverson, Gamble, Prigge. All players that have recorded a hit here this afternoon. The Hogs have not had a base runner since the 3rd inning. Patience Holman has been phenomenal in relief. First pitch ball to Halverson, who's grounded out, singled, and grounded out to 3rd in the 5th. Halverson has homered this weekend. She homered against Southeast Missouri State on Friday. 1-0, grounded to short, gloved by Shoup, over to short, it's over her head. Halverson turning for second as Halverson moves over into scoring position on the throwing error by Shoup.
And it's been defense that has been so clean on both sides today. But for Callie Halverson sprinting down first base, it rushed Shoup over at shortstop to get the throw across the diamond.
That's why coaches tell you to put the ball in play. You make something happen as Mark Redburn out into the circle to try and calm his team down, as this is the most pressure moment of the game. Halverson on second, Hannah Gamble standing in at the plate. Soon bottom of the 2nd inning.
And Hangam getting a big fly. That's the kind of swing that you like to see from Hannah Gamble.
Holman on the outside corner. You may see the intentional walk here from Holman in Southeast Missouri State.
And given with Halverson being in scoring position, we're gonna see the intentional walk here to Hannah Gamble to get her on base.
Back-to-back balls in the left-handed batter's box.
You know what that means? You know what that means, Hannah? They don't want it.
Well outside, 3-0, so Gamble will be walked, and there will be a pinch hitter on deck for Arkansas, batting for Spencer Prigge. Four-pitch walk to Gamble puts 2 on, no one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, as Spencer Prigge does indeed come to the plate. One thing this does for Southeast Missouri State is it does set up a force at 3rd at the leadoff runner. And we will have a pinch runner over at 2nd for Halverson. Even though Halverson runs well, it is number 24, Nyjah Fontenot. And Cindy, you'd have to believe in this situation that Spencer Prigge is up there for a sacrifice situation.
Yes, absolutely. Get the sack bunt down, move Nyjah Fontenot over to third, and then it just takes a sack fly to win the ball game.
It'll be Prigge and then the top of the lineup in Johnson, Kamenzend, and Hedgecock. Johnson and Kamenzend with 3 hits and 8 combined plate appearances.
Because what you don't want here is to hit that ground ball and get doubled off.
Prigge has not registered a sack on the season. Squares bunt perfectly placed to the left side over to first. Prigge moves the runners one away, but the Hogs have runners on second and third.
And a perfectly placed sack bunt indeed by Spencer Prigge. She gets the job done. Placing that ball up more towards up the middle allows for the runners to be safe at third and second.
Reagan Johnson steps to the plate, 2 for 4 today. Infield in for Semo. Fontenot on third, Gamble at second. First pitch from Holman, taken inside for a ball. Johnson singled in the first and the second. The 1-0. Lined out to center field. Fontenot tagging. Hallowell will not get the ball in time. Hogs walk it off on the sac fly from Reagan Johnson.
And Reagan Johnson stepping up and finding a way to get the job done. Does what she does best. Drives in runs as a slapper. And let's take another look at this slap by Reagan Johnson. Just absolutely belts it to center field. Nyjah Fontenot, great job on third base to solidify that she catches the ball before leaving to score home. Total performance by this Arkansas staff today. Robin Heron, solid job in the circle, but defense, Reagan Johnson locked it down in the outfield, still